Have you ever pondered life's questions and wonder, who sells the best Coke? Today we're going to find out. So continuing a new series, today we're going to be testing brand versus basic to actually find out who is better. So obviously for our branded option we had to go with Coca-Cola as the leader of the market, and this comes in at 60p a can. And then for our basic option we've gone with Tesco's Classic Cola, which comes in at 20p a can, which is around the bottom of the market in terms of price ranges. So apart from the very obvious being price difference between these two, we're going to cover a number of tests today that you probably usually wouldn't look at. Obviously we're going to be doing a blind taste test at the end to make sure we can see which one actually tastes better. Before we do that, we're going to have a look at a couple things that affect the overall experience, including things like acidity and sugar content, which will give us a really good sense of which one actually is better out of these two. I wanted to show you quickly, there's quite a big difference in the weight of these, even when I'm holding them. This one feels significantly heavier than the basic option. So I'll just show you these two scales here. So if we put these on, and you can see we're quite a few grams heavier on the branded version than we are on the basic version. Now that's quite interesting, but the reason that the massive weight difference between these two exists is because this actually contains quite a lot of sweeteners, so the same sweetness will be achieved with just sugar in this. This contains no sweeteners, I believe. It's just sugar that actually flavors this one. Now obviously it needs quite a lot more sugar to be the same sweetness as this with all the sweeteners, and so that sugar extra weight is where we're seeing those quite extra few grams. The significant difference already is this one contains sweeteners and this one just contains sugar. So you're gonna have to make your own mind up on which one you think is if that's a benefit or not. For our first proper test of the day, we're gonna be having a look at acidity. Now the way we're actually gonna test that is using this red cabbage, and we'll use it as an indicator to tell us which one might be more acidic, which obviously potentially could be slightly worse for your teeth. So let's just cut this up first of all, and we can cut it into smaller pieces. Oh, look at that. I'll show you an example first before we do the Coca-Cola, exactly how this works with an alkaline and acidic solution. Right, let's pour some hot water onto our cabbage here, and we'll let it soak for a while. Super quickly for a demonstration, I'll just show you how the pH indicator works here. So on this side it's going to be acidic, and I've got a lemon, so let's squeeze some lemon juice in and see what happens. So you can see, it should start changing colour quite quickly, and you can see that it is working. Look at that, it's gone very pinkish. So you can see the difference in colour is strong already. So that light pink colour is very acidic. Yep, that's very acidic. And then for our alkaline one, I'll just show you this. It's bicarbonate of soda. It's quite alkaline, so it should go slightly darker blue. So you can see the difference. This is our alkaline solution here, and this is our acidic solution here. So we're looking to see which one goes more pink, basically, closer to this. Right, so we're just setting up the test now. We're going to put the water in here first, and then add our dye to that. And now let's add our indicator into these. So that's 7 ml. We've got the basic side here and the branded side here. Let's see which one's more acidic now. So in 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we'll give these a mix. Okay, so the colours are different. That is interesting. So if I use this white piece of paper, you can see there's a significant difference in colour. I would say the branded version is slightly more acidic than the non-branded version of Coca-Cola. Now that is probably going to be acidity regulators like phosphoric acid and maybe citric acid. I'll have to check the ingredients again. So I honestly think that's an initial win for the basic version, to be honest. Slightly less acidic, so it might be slightly better for your teeth. But dentists are going to need to confirm that one in the comment section. Right, so for our next test, we're going to have to use this glass fish tank, and I'm going to explain to you what we'll do with it now. So as I'm filling this up with water, the basic idea of what we're going to do here is essentially that sugar weighs more than the sweetener, as we explained at the start of the video with our little weight test. But I'm just going to prove that, the difference between the weights here. We're going to submerge the two drinks under the water, and when we let them go, we should see the real version, the branded Coke, sink much faster than the basic version. And again, that's just going to show how much more sugar there is in that than the basic one. So we'll see if that works. So we're going to fill this up and then drop them in. So let's see which one hits the bottom first when I let these go. So in 3, 2, 1. Definitely the Coca-Cola original branded version hit the bottom first. Now that makes sense with our hypothesis that because it's got more sugar in it and no sweeteners, that makes it heavier. So we'll do that again. Just to show the results one more time. So in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, definitely hit it first on the branded version. So the winner of this round kind of depends on your personal opinion on sweeteners, whether you think they're healthy or not. So for our next test, we're going to be having a look at which one's actually fizzier, considering it's a fizzy drink. So that's quite important in this. So we've got these two pressure gauges, and this will give us a really good sense of which one actually contains more CO2. So in order to keep things fair, I've emptied and filled these each once already, so that we don't lose any gas on each test. So let's put the pressure gauges on top of our bottles now. Hopefully this fits nicely. So again, just to remind you, we've got the basic one here and we've got a branded one here. Now let's give them a shake, considering they're both at 0 to start, and see what happens. So in 3, 2, 1. Right, let's see what we've got. So I can't see that at the minute. You guys can only see that. So let's see. Whoa, that's a substantial difference in the two. So what I can see here, yeah, so on the basic one, we're reading only about 10 to 12 PSI, but on the actual real Coca-Cola, we've got the 40 PSI almost, which is incredibly high. That's quite an astonishing amount of pressure. And what you'll find with that result is that the basic one is going to get flatter a lot quicker, and also just be less fizzy, so maybe slightly less enjoyable as a fizzy drink. And you'll find that it stays fizzier longer on the expensive one, and again, is slightly fizzier when you're drinking it, which is quite interesting. So I definitely think that was a win for the brand on that round. Let's move on to the blind taste test and see if we can actually taste the difference, because there's significantly different ingredients if I look at what they've written on the back here. The setup for this is going to be very basic. We're just going to open one of these in each side here. Right, okay, let's try this side first over here. Where is it? Okay, here. So I don't know which is which, obviously. Okay, very, very sweet. Okay, let's try the other side. Whoa. That's very different. So what's interesting is this side here is a much fuller flavour across the whole tongue, whereas this side very much is in the front of the mouth. It's very strange. Right, which do I prefer now? Obviously, okay, they do taste different. We've already discovered this thus far. So which side actually is preferable out of the two? There is something I like about the focused, sharp taste of this, but there is something that I very much like about the width of the sort of sugariness here. So if I have to say which side do I prefer, I'm going with this side at the minute. Let's have a look and see which we preferred. I mean, I kind of can tell based off of the flavours, to be honest. But let's see if we were right. Yeah, that makes sense. The sugar very much comes through, the very, very sweet flavour. And then the slightly synthetic nature of this one does come through a little bit. Again, because I think it's got a slightly weaker syrup mixed in with the water when it's produced. And again, the sweeteners just kind of aren't quite as full of flavour as the sugar might be. That's my guess anyway. So I think that round is going to have to go to brand as well. Again, the flavour was just, as I described there, a slightly better flavour here. So yeah. Branded wins that one. Right, just before we conclude on the ultimate showdown, you know how I get snacky making these videos. So today we've got these snowballs. Let's see. The packaging, the simplicity of the packaging is what stood out to me when I saw them at the shops. And I like that picture, so I thought let's just give it a try and see what it's like. So there they are. They don't look very snowball-like. Also, excuse me, snowballs, that's not a ball, is it? That's like a dome. This would be a ball. That is a snowball. This is a snow half. Snow semicircle. Right, let's try it anyway. So is it chocolate on the outside, marshmallow on the inside, coconut on the outside as well. I'm not bad. I give that a solid 6 out of 10. And I do like the fact they say it's gluten-free. I have no idea where you'd expect to find gluten in marshmallow, chocolate and coconut. But they like to claim that anyway. I mean, at that rate, you could claim anything on this. What else hasn't it got in it? You could say uranium-free. You could say, I don't know, what else hasn't it got in it? You could say, I don't know, garlic-free. You could say cyanide-free. It's got, you just wouldn't expect any of those. I don't know why you'd expect there to be gluten in that at all. So, yeah, well, there you go. 6 out of 10. Right, time to come up with our conclusion on brand versus basic Coke. As a starting point, what we've got to remember is the brand cost here is 3 times the basic one. So really, it kind of has to be 3 times more worthwhile as a product than the basic one is, just on the pure maths alone. Obviously, with that being said, we saw that the brand won more of our tests than the basic did. Now, we're going to use that to educate our opinion, but not necessarily decide it as a winning factor overall. My general sense of it so far is that the basic will square away the need if this is what you have available, or if this is what you can afford. It certainly does the job. It tastes like Coca-Cola, and it's a good alternative, but it's not quite exactly the same. So leaning towards the brand as our winner today, I just feel like not only did it win a number of our tests that were quite important, but also it's priced in fairly reflectively of what the product actually is. I don't think it's too far outside of the realm of what you should be paying for this sort of product. So based on that today, I think brand is our winner. Right, so obviously this was a new series, so make sure to comment if there's anything you want me to test on brand versus basic. Again, I read all your comments, so I love seeing what you guys respond with this stuff. Also, if this is the sort of content you like, remember I'm posting every day at 6, so hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of this. Very cool. Yum yum.